TV cameras are barred from federal courtrooms, which is unfortunate in this case because it became a bit of a spectacle at times, viewed and heard by more than 100 spectators in 2 courtrooms. At issue is the 28,000 touchscreen voting machines that are now in storage that Georgia expects to use in November. In court, a Michigan professor named Alex Halderman cast 3 votes in such a machine after he had inserted a hacked memory card. The machine then spat out a piece of paper that misreported the votes.
For the last 15 years, there have been dozens, maybe hundreds of attempts to hack into voting machines exactly like Georgia's voting machines. Not a single one of those attempts has failed.
That's Rich DeMillo of Georgia Tech. He also told the court that Georgia machines are unreliable. 3 Georgia voters have sued the state to switch to paper ballots in November, which they say are less fancy but much more reliable. The state says switching now would create a chaotic November election. The state's attorney is former Georgia Governor Roy Barnes, a Democrat who loudly challenged the Michigan professor's Georgia credentials. His client is Republican Secretary of State Brian Kemp, who skipped the hearing to hold an event in his campaign for governor.
Well, I think my opinion's been very clear on that. I don't think my attorney that was just with me would want me saying a whole lot about that today since we're in court.
The judge in the case, Amy Totenberg, a Barack Obama appointee, repeatedly challenged the state and at one point herself described the Georgia voting machines as, quote, potentially likely to be hacked, end quote. Judge Totenberg told attorneys that she expects to issue an order in the paper ballots case Friday or Monday. At federal court, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.